Well, tonight on Jesus with Jesus, we're looking at these Oots cheese balls. My kids think they're great Christmas presents. We're listening about the widow's mite and the offering that's being brought forward. When you're looking for a cheesy snack but you don't want many calories, this is the place to go. So here we are in Jesus with Jesus, and we are in the midst of Advent. We have made it to chapter 21 of Luke. And as we're stepping forward here in chapter 21, one of the things that we're starting off with here is the widow's mite. The story about how somebody brings 2 small coins to the offering for the Lord and brings the best that they have. You're probably hearing this Drummer Boy song play on Christian radio or on the Christmas stations, or maybe it's just playing around your house. But I think that fits in very well to the beginning here. So I've got that playing in the background as I read this opening section. Jesus looked up and he saw the rich putting their gifts into the offering box. And he saw the poor widow put 2 small copper coins. And he said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more in than all of them. For they contribute out of their abundance, but she, out of her poverty, has put in all that she has to live on." And while some were speaking of the temple, how it was adorned with noble stones and offerings, he said, "As for these things that you see, the days will come when there will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." And they asked him, "Teacher, when will these things be? And what will be the sign when these things are about to take place?" And he said, "See that you are not led astray, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he,' and the time is at hand. Do not go after them. And when you hear of wars and tumults, do not be terrified, for these things must take place, but the end will not be at once." Then he said to them, "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be great earthquakes in various places, famines and pestilences, and there will be terrors and great signs from heaven. But before all this, they will lay hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and prisons, and you will be brought before kings and governors for my name's sake. This will be your opportunity to bear witness. Settle it therefore in your minds, not to meditate beforehand on how to answer. For I will give you a mouth of wisdom, which none of your adversaries will be able to withstand or contradict. You will be delivered up even by your parents and brothers and relatives and friends, and some of you they will put to death. You will be hated by all for my name's sake, but not a hair on your head will perish. By your endurance you will gain your lives. But when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that its desolation has come near. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let those who are inside the city depart, and let not those who are out in the country enter it. For these are the days of vengeance, to fulfill all that is written. Alas, for women who are pregnant, and for those who are nursing infants in those days, there will be a great distress upon the earth, and wrath against this people. They will fall by the edge of the sword and be led captive among the nations in Jerusalem, and be trampled underfoot by the Gentiles, until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled. And there will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars and on the earth, distress of the nations and perplexity, because of the roaring of the sea and the waves, people fainting with fear and foreboding of what is to come on the world. For the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in the cloud with power and great glory. Now when these things begin to take place, straighten up, raise your hands, because your redemption is drawing near. And he told them a parable. Look at the fig tree and all the trees. As soon as they come out in leaf, you see for yourselves and know that summer is already near. So also when you see these things taking place, you know that the kingdom of God is near. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all has taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But watch yourselves, lest your hearts be weighed down with dissipation and drunkenness and the cares of this life, in that day come upon you suddenly like a trap. For it will come upon all who dwell on the face of the whole earth. But stay awake at all times, praying that you may have strength to escape these things that are going to take place soon, to stand before the Son of Man. And every day he was teaching in the temple, but at night he went out and lodged on the mount called Olivet. And at early morning all of the people came to him to the temple to hear him. So tonight on Jesus with Jesus, we have the cheese that will last a lifetime, or when the end and the destruction come, maybe. I know that cheese that's kind of like that Twinkie that lasts through whatever destruction. We've got the cheese balls that we looked at tonight. And as we're looking at those destructions that Jesus is talking about, he's warning us about the future. He's preparing his disciples, his followers, to be aware that there will be warning signs. There will be things that are coming that will give us warning to that the end is drawing near. But really, we need to lift our heads and keep focused on the fact that Jesus is the center of the universe. Jesus is the center of all things. It's Jesus who is coming to save us. And because he has come to save us, we will have that life everlasting. So now, in this Advent season, as we started out at the end of the church year, kind of looking in this way before Advent came, now at the beginning of the church year here in Advent, we're looking to the coming of Christ, both as a babe, both as they were waiting in the past for Jesus to come, and now as we are waiting for him to come again to take us to be with him in that eternal glory. So let's wait together as we continue to look at Luke here in Cheeses with Jesus for the rest of Advent, all 3 days that are left of it.